If you are following a school bus or tank truck, you should A. Pass them on the right. B. Be prepared to stop at all railroad crossings. C. Decrease your following distance. B. Be prepared to stop at all railroad crossings. School buses and tank trucks carrying flammable liquids must always stop before crossing railroad tracks, regardless of the presence of a train. Be prepared to stop at all railroad crossings if following one of these vehicles. If you need to drive in foggy weather, A. Turn on your low-beam headlights. B. Turn on your hazard lights. C. It is okay to drive at the maximum speed limit. D. Do not drive at a speed above 10 miles per hour. When sharing the road with a truck, it is important to remember that trucks generally A. Require longer distances to stop than smaller vehicles do. B. Require less time to pass on a downgrade than smaller vehicles do. C. Require a smaller turning radius than smaller vehicles do. D. Require less time to pass on an incline than smaller vehicles do. A. Require longer distances to stop than smaller vehicles do. Because of their size, trucks need longer distances to stop than smaller vehicles do. When passing another vehicle on a road with two lanes traveling in opposite directions, you should A. Return to the driving lane when there's enough room between you and the vehicle you passed. B. Remain in the left lane if you intend to turn left. C. Return to the right side of the roadway immediately. D. Drive in either lane. A. Return to the driving lane when there's enough room between you and the vehicle you passed. When passing another vehicle on a two-lane roadway, you must return to the right side of the roadway when there is enough room between you and the vehicle you have passed.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
Traffic signals sometimes display arrows to control turns from specific lanes. A green arrow A is used only on one-way streets. B has the same meaning as a circular green traffic light, but traffic must turn in the direction indicated by the arrow. C means that you may proceed, but only if the green arrow is accompanied by a circular green light. D points the way to an airport. B has the same meaning as a circular green traffic light, but traffic must turn in the direction indicated by the arrow. A green arrow has the same meaning as a circular green traffic light, but traffic in the indicated lane must turn in the direction shown by the arrow. This road sign means A. Flagger ahead. B. Turn left at the intersection. C. Last turn before a toll road. A. Flagger ahead. Orange is the standard color for work zone activity. If you see orange signs, cones, or barrels while driving, stay alert and be prepared for unexpected driving conditions. This sign alerts drivers to an upcoming flagger whose directions should be obeyed by all drivers. You hit a parked vehicle and can't find the owner. What must you do? A. Call your insurance company when you get home. B. Wait for the owner to return. C. Leave a note with your name and address on the parked vehicle. C. Leave a note with your name and address on the parked vehicle. If you hit a parked vehicle or other property, you must leave a note with your name, phone number, and address securely attached to the vehicle or property that you hit. To see vehicles in your blind spots, you should check A. The inside rearview mirror. B. The outside rearview mirror. C. Over your shoulders. C. Over your shoulders. By definition, blind spots are areas that cannot be seen using your mirrors. To check your blind spots, you should look over your shoulders. When parallel parking, you should park within. Fill in the blank. Of the curb. A. 6 inches. B. 10 inches. C. 14 inches. D. 18 inches. This sign means A. Crossroad ahead. B. Merge. C. Stop. A. Crossroad ahead. This sign indicates that there is a crossroad ahead. When you hear a fire engine siren behind you, you must A. Slow down until it passes you. B. Drive with your flashers on. C. Pull over to the side of the road and stop. D. Speed up and take the nearest exit. C. Pull over to the side of the road and stop. When you hear the siren of an emergency vehicle, you must pull over to the curb or side of the road and stop. Before switching on the ignition, you should A. Buckle your safety belt. B. Be sure all passengers have buckled their safety belts. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. Develop a routine for entering and leaving your car. Before switching on the ignition, buckle your safety belt and see that all passengers do likewise. Slowing down just to look at collisions or anything else out of the ordinary. A. Causes traffic congestion. B. Prevents rear-end collisions. C. Improves traffic flow by preventing collisions. A. Causes traffic congestion. Avoid rubbernecking, or slowing down to look at collisions or anything else out of the ordinary. This helps to relieve traffic congestion. When you see this sign, you should A. Watch for traffic merging from the right. B. Merge right. C. Turn left. A. Watch for traffic merging from the right. Warning signs alert drivers to upcoming hazards and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns drivers about potential traffic merging into their lane from the right. As you approach the top of a hill, you should A. Speed up slightly. B. Prepare to stop, if needed. C. Maintain a steady speed. B. Prepare to stop, if needed. You may not know what is on the other side of a hill or just around a curve, even if you have driven the road many times. If a vehicle is stalled just out of sight on the roadway, you must be able to stop. Whenever you come to a hill or curve, adjust your speed so you can stop if necessary. When driving past a vehicle that has just stopped in a parked position on the side of the road, you should A. Assume that the driver will open the car door as you approach. B. Speed up. C. Slam on your brakes. D. Assume that the driver will wait for you to pass before opening the door. A. Assume that the driver will open the car door as you approach. When passing a vehicle that has just parked parallel to the road, you should assume the driver will open the door as you approach. Use extra caution when driving near parked vehicles. A solid yellow line next to a broken yellow line means that vehicles A. driving in both directions may pass. B. next to the broken line may pass. C. next to the solid line may pass. B. next to the broken line may pass. Yellow lines separate lanes of traffic moving in opposite directions. A broken yellow line next to your driving lane means that you may pass. Many crashes are caused by A. drivers traveling too fast for conditions. B. drivers consistently checking their mirrors and blind spots. C. drivers yielding the right of way. D. drivers maintaining a 4-second following distance. A. drivers traveling too fast for conditions. Many crashes are caused by drivers who are driving too fast for conditions. Always drive within the legal speed limits and decrease your speed anytime conditions are less than perfect. You may stop in a travel lane when letting out a passenger. A. True. B. False. B. False. Do not stop in travel lanes for any reason, confusion, breakdown, letting out a passenger, etc. Continue moving until you can safely pull off the road. Drivers who eat and drink while driving. A. make no driving errors. B. have trouble driving slowly. C. are better drivers because they are not hungry. D. have trouble controlling their vehicles. D. have trouble controlling their vehicles. Choosing to eat, drink, or smoke while driving is dangerous because these actions require a driver to remove their hands from the wheel and their eyes from the road. Drivers who engage in distracting activities while driving have trouble staying in their lanes and controlling their vehicles. What does a lane use control signal displaying a green arrow above a reversible lane indicate? A. The signal is about to change to a red X. B. Drivers should not drive in this lane. C. Drivers may use this lane only to make a left turn. D. Drivers may drive normally in this lane. D. Drivers may drive normally in this lane. Lane use control signals are used when the direction of the flow of traffic in a specific lane changes throughout the day. They are used to show which lanes of traffic are open and closed, as well as to show if toll booths are open or closed. When a lane control signal contains a green arrow, drivers may drive normally in the indicated lane. You must stop at an intersection when you see A. flashing red light. B. steady yellow light. C. yellow arrow. D. flashing yellow light. A. flashing red light. A flashing red traffic signal has the same meaning as a stop sign. At an intersection with a flashing red light, you must come to a complete stop, look both ways, and proceed only after the intersection is clear. If a traffic light shows both a red light and a green arrow, a driver may not turn in the direction of the arrow until the red light has changed. A. True. B. False. B. False. After yielding the right-of-way to traffic within an intersection or crosswalk, a driver may go in the direction a green arrow is pointing, regardless of other lights present. Before switching on the ignition, you should A. buckle your safety belt. B. be sure all passengers have buckled their safety belts. C. both of the above. C. both of the above. In New Mexico, it is illegal to drive without wearing a safety belt. Before you drive, always fasten your safety belt and be sure your passengers do likewise. Studies have shown that if you are in an accident while using safety belts, your chances of being hurt or killed are greatly reduced. Which of the following commonly causes traffic accidents? A. Inattentive driving. B. Excessive speed under the driving conditions. C. Following other vehicles too closely. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Driving too fast for conditions is a major cause of motor vehicle crashes. Being inattentive to surroundings can cause a driver to collide with other vehicles. Most rear-end collisions are caused by drivers following other vehicles too closely.